Hello students, welcome to Vedantu NEET English. This is Baswaraj sir, your biology master teacher. Welcome each and every one of you. I hope everyone is safe and sound and doing extremely well in life. Now students, this is the Express. All of you know what is Express. Now what if I tell you students, what if I tell you we will finish the entire chapter? What if I tell you we can finish the entire chapter of living world in just 20 points? 20 points, the entire chapter. That is going to be the real Express. So this is the summary which I have made for all of you, where the entire chapter is taught in just 20 points. So we'll be doing this part towards the end. So before the entire thing, let's quickly understand the chapter point by point, and then we'll come to the entire Express. So with that being said, students, quickly let me know in the chat right now if I'm audible and visible to each and every one of you. Am I audible and visible, students? Quickly let me know in the chat if I'm audible and visible. Hello Meghana, hello Pratibha, hello Harini, hello Raju, hello Mona, hello Sharun, hello. Good afternoon each and every one of you. Now students, before you understand the chapter, the first step is the understand the syllabus. Yes or no? See, this right here is syllabus. What is living? It's there in your syllabus. Biodiversity, need for classification, taxonomic and systematics. This is your entire syllabus. Concept of species and taxonomical hierarchy, binomial nomenclature. So this is your entire syllabus. What is living is not a part of your new NCERT. It is not a part of your new NCERT, but it is there in the syllabus. It is there in the syllabus. So understand the syllabus first. Don't be like, sir, it is not there in new NCERT, I will not study. No. Understand the syllabus, then we study. Now students, can I ask all of you a very simple question now? Can I start? Yes or no, all of you? Can I ask all of you a very basic simple question? Let's start. The question is, out of the following categories given here, the 4 pictures, right? 6 pictures, can anyone tell me how many of them are living and how many of them are non-living? Number, quickly go. Tell me students, how many of them are living? How many of them are non-living? Tell me. Yes, it is from scratch, don't worry. Tell me, living or non-living? See, this is non-living, 1, 2, 3. 3 non-living, 3 are living. So, you are able to tell me 3 are non-living, 3 are living. But how? Like, how do you tell me? On what basis or criteria did you tell me that this is living and other one is non-living? Tell me now. Tell me. How is it living and non-living? Tell me now. So, for that very reason, for that, we need to understand the one basic question is there. That is, every living creature has a life and non-living things do not have a life. Then a question comes, what is life? Now there are 2 approaches to it. One is a scientific approach, one is your religious approach. We will not touch the religious approach, we will encounter the life approach or the scientific approach. Now what is life according to science? Can anyone tell me what does come to your mind when you think about life? Reproduction, metabolism, consciousness, growth. Tell me, what comes to your mind when you think about life? Your friend, your girlfriend, something comes to your mind, no, when you think about life. So, but I'll tell you what comes to my mind. When I think about life, the first thing which comes to my mind is reactions, biomolecules. Yes or no? So what is life, students? What is life exactly? It is a unique and a complex organization of molecules. Those are your biomolecules, proteins, lipids, fat, carbohydrates, the molecules that express itself through chemical reactions which lead to growth, development, responsiveness, adaptation and reproduction. So when the life question comes, the first thing as a biologist, the first thing which comes to mind is chemical reactions. So students, in this chapter, to understand what is living, there are mainly 5 different criteria here. That is growth, reproduction, metabolism, cellular organization and consciousness. So all of these 5 different characters we'll be studying in today's class. It is also given your NCERT also. But there is a small twist here. Now what is the small twist? The small twist right here is every single character given here has a, we will classify them. We will classify Every single character there. Now, based on what? For example, every single character there, students, every single character or parameter which we just now saw, it could be your reproduction, it could be cellular organization, consciousness, growth. Every single parameter here can be divided into two separate categories. Understand, all of you. First one is called as your fundamental. It is called as fundamental, and the second one is called as defining. Second one is called as what? Defining, students. Defining. Now, what is the difference here? Fundamental and defining. Now, if I ask you a question, students, let's say plants are green in color. Plants are green in color. Tell me, is there an exception to this statement? Do you find some plants which are orange, some plants which are reddish in color? Yes or no? Some plants are yellow in color. So if there are exceptions, if you find exceptions, then it becomes a fundamental. So in a fundamental character, out of all the 5 characters here, if there is an exception to this rule, then it becomes a fundamental. So if you find exceptions, it becomes fundamental. What if there is no exception? If there is no exception, it becomes defining. Is that clear to all of you? Tell me, all of you. Quickly in the chat, tell me. Is that clear to all of you that if it is fundamental, exceptions are there? If I say something is defining, it means there are absolutely no exceptions. So with that rule in mind, let's go to the first topic, that is called as growth. Can we start growth now? Yes or no, all of you? Can we start growth now? Yes. Now, students, what exactly is growth? Right? See, all of you might know. What is your age? Tell me in the chat, what is your age? All of you might be around 16, 17, 18 years old. All of you are at the age right now where you can show a lot of vertical growth. All of you can show a lot of vertical growth. But in my case, vertical growth is not possible anymore. I can only show horizontal growth. Okay, if possible, I can only show horizontal growth. Okay. So what exactly is growth, students? What exactly is growth right now? Understand. Growth is nothing but there is an increase now. Growth means increase. Increase in the cell number, increase in size, increase in mass, increase in height. All of this is called as growth. That is, growth is increase in size, mass or height, or increase in cell number. Cell number is called as your growth. It is called as growth. And students, you need to understand one more thing here. That is, growth can be extrinsic or intrinsic. Now, students, tell me, what is an X now? Who is an X? Is the X person in your life or out of your life? Out of your life. X. So here, the meaning of extrinsic means the outside growth. Outside growth. Understand. For example, tell me, how many of you have gone to Kashmir? Tell me, students, how many of you have gone to Kashmir? Nice snow area now, if you go right now. So this is let's take this as your mountain or a hill. On top of this mountain or a hill, there will be accumulation of snow. Okay, can I tell right now, the size of the mountain has increased externally from the outside? You're like, yes, sir. Then what is intrinsic growth? Intrinsic growth is happening from the inside. Example, humans. Example is humans. We can increase in size from the inside. For example, on kitten stage, adolescent stage, and adult stage. From the inside, it is increasing. So, intrinsic, extrinsic from the outside. Clear. Next thing is something called as definite growth and indefinite growth, students. Now, what is the difference between definite and indefinite? Now, tell me, students, is there a chance that after the age of 25, do humans grow? Tell me, can the humans grow after age of 25? Generally not possible unless you're doing some bone surgery and all. Naturally, it is not possible to grow after 25. Your growth is defined. But at the same time, I know secretly all of us are jealous of plants. Plants can keep on growing. Plants can make their own food. So plants which can show unlimited growth which does not stop because of meristematic tissue, that is called as your indefinite growth. That is your unlimited growth. Unlimited and limited growth. Definite growth and indefinite growth. Okay, so plants, usually animals. Okay, now students, can anyone tell me what is this? What is this rod shaped structure here doing here on the screen? Can anyone tell me what is this rod shaped structure? So what would be the class duration daily? Class duration will vary depending upon the chapter. See, some chapters will get over very easily in a short duration. Some chapters will take more time, no? Yes. Okay. Can anyone tell? No, this is not cancer cell. It's a normal bacteria. Papa, this is one normal cute bacteria. This is. Now, students, why am I showing you bacteria here? Now, because bacteria, one special ability is there. What is special ability here? A bacteria, every single time it grows, it divides. So, in the case of bacteria, students, in the case of bacteria, growth equals reproduction. Remember this throughout your life. In the case of unicellular organisms, growth equal to reproduction. If it is growing, it is dividing. Division means reproduction. If it is reproducing, it is also growing. So both are equal here. So every single time it grows, it reproduces here. That is your bacteria. Okay. Now, question on the board, students. Question on the board. Let's see how many of you can answer. Is growth a defining character of living being? Is it defining or is it fundamental? This was the classification which we did before. That is fundamental and defining. So can anyone tell me now in the chat, is the growth defining or is it fundamental now? Defining or fundamental? Suchasmita, that is basically growth of the seedlings and all. That's where we learn inceptions. That is not given in NCERT, but that is the growth of the seedlings from the inside. Now, tell me students, all of you, is growth a defining character of living being? Obviously not. Why? Because of sand dunes and glaciers. Sand dunes and glaciers are non-living things. These are non-living things which actually show growth from the outside. So it means there is no exception here. It means there is exception here. So if there is exception here, it is called as fundamental. So it goes to fundamental. So here we will write for fundamental, I will write here, first example is growth. Done, done, done? Yes, done, done, done. Easy topic? Yes, easy topic. Fire emoji in the chat? Yes, sir. Fire emoji in the chat now, all of you. Because the next thing which I will tell you is something called as your reproduction. Now, what is reproduction? Reproduction is a beautiful process in which an organism will give birth to a young one. And the young one will be similar to the parent. Now, what do I mean by similar to the parents? A cat will give birth to a kitten. A dog will give birth to a puppy. A dog will give birth to a puppy. A human will give birth to a human. Is it possible ever in nature? You tell me now. Is it possible a polar bear is giving birth to a giraffe? Not possible. Not possible. So reproduction is a process in which an organism is giving birth to a young one. Remember that. Okay. Formation of new individuals of similar kind. Not essential for survival of individuals. Very important line. What do I mean by this line, students? The meaning is very simple here. That is, an organism can finish his or her lifetime. I can finish my entire life cycle without reproduction. Is there a chance that if I don't reproduce, I will die off? No, nothing will happen like that. So it is not essential for survival. Now, students, there are two types, all of you know. Asexual and sexual. Now, tell me in the chat, all of you, in asexual reproduction, under asexual reproduction, do you find a single parent or two parents? Can anyone tell me? Under asexual reproduction, we'll usually find uniparental type. We'll usually find uniparental. Uniparental. Okay. Now, what about sexual reproduction, students? In the case of sexual reproduction, do you find uniparental or biparental? Tell me. Tell me, students. In the case of sexual reproduction, do you find a single organism or both? Students, this is what, if you are my student, you should be able to tell right now. Sir, in the case of sexual reproduction, you can have both uni and biparental. Both are possible. Both are possible. Now you will ask me, sir, how uniparental possible? Tell me one example. Tell me one example for uniparental here. Simple example, students. A hibiscus flower. A hibiscus flower is a single organism. A same hibiscus flower which is bisexual. It has both stamen as well as your carpel. Both are present in the same flower. So uniparental sexual reproduction. Uniparental sexual reproduction is also an example. So think next time. Okay. So both are correct here. Now offsprings identical to the parents. Can I call them clones? Yes or no? Can I call them clones here to technically to some extent? Here they are genetically unique. Here. Okay. Involves the fusion of gametes, does not involve the fusion of gametes. Done. Now students, the next thing I will ask you is, can anyone tell me which type of reproduction do you find in the case of, which type of reproduction do you find in the case of fungi? Fungi, quickly everyone, express this is. This right here is express right now, express, quickly express I want. Tell me, in the case of fungi, which type of reproduction do you find mainly? In the case of fungi, we mainly find spore formation. Spore formation. Dun dun dun. Okay. Spore formation. Now tell me students, in the case of your, let's say yeast or hydra. Yeast or hydra, what do you find? Tell me. Now here there will be one small concept called as a budding. Okay. We find budding here. Okay. We find budding here. Okay. Then tell me students, in the case of, let's say, planaria. In the case of planaria, what do we find? We find regeneration. Regeneration. Okay, done. Next, tell me students, what about in the case of certain algae? Example, I'll tell you, Spirogyra. In the case of Spirogyra, what do you find? Something called as splitting into half, making into something called as fragmentation. Yes or no? Fragmentation. So all of these categories of reproduction, are they sexual or asexual? Tell me students. Tell me quickly. Sexual or asexual? One more is mosses also. One plant kingdom example I'll give you. In the case of mosses, they have something called as protonema formation. Protonema formation. Okay. So all of these are examples of asexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction. Done. Okay. Now, question on the board. Let's see who can answer. Question on the board. Let's see who can answer. Okay. The question on the board. Can all living things reproduce? Are there some organisms which can't reproduce, students? Is there some organisms in the world who wants to reproduce but cannot? Is there any examples like that? Yes, there are, students. Unfortunately, there are certain organisms like your mule, sterile working bee, and also infertile couples. So can I tell technically they are the exception to reproduction? Okay. So if they are exception to reproduction, will I call reproduction as defining a fundamental law? So these are exceptions. So will I call them fundamental or will I call it as defining? Tell me quickly in the chat, all of you. So if there is exception, I will call it fundamental reproduction. Done. The next thing which I have to teach you is something called as metabolism. Okay, what is metabolism? Metabolism is nothing but sum of all the reactions happening inside your body right now. That is called as metabolism. Then there is something called as catabolism. Tell me students, in the case of catabolism, do we break things or we make things? Is it breaking or making? In the case of catabolism, a complex substance is broken down into simpler substance with energy. That is catabolism. Okay. Now, not possible non-living things also. Okay. Now, what about Anabolism, is it breaking or making? Anabolism is making. We take simple substances, use the energy and make complex substances. That is called as your anabolism. Okay. Now students, here you need to understand one small thing, that is there is no exception to this rule. That is, metabolism is a defining property. The first defining property right here. It is not seen in non-living objects. It can be demonstrated outside the body in a cell-free system. That is, it may be happening in cell-free system. It is completely non-living, but the reactions happening inside, the reactions that are taking place are living. Okay. So as isolated metabolic reactions outside the body of the organism performed in a test tube is neither living or non-living. That is your metabolism. Okay. So we will write metabolism here, students. We will write metabolism as a defining property because there are no exceptions here. Metabolism. Metabolism, done. Okay. The next thing is called as cellular organization. Okay. Next thing is called as cellular organization. Now, what is cellular organization? All of you know different levels of organization. Cell, group of cells is called as what, students? Tell me. A group of cells is called as what? It is called as a tissue. Tissue, group of tissue. Then we make different types of organ. Then we have organ system. Then we have individual organism. And our entire body, students, if you look inside our body, it is made up of a single tiny cells. So there is a division of labor here. There is a division of labor here. Okay. That is differentiation of body into smaller units and subunits arranged in an orderly manner. And due to the presence of the organization, a living being is also called as organism. So every living organism, without any exception, every living organism without even a single exception will have this division of labor. For example, even in the case of unicellular organisms, there are small components which are taking care of its needs. Okay, so this is your cellular organization is a defining property. It is a defining property. Okay. Cellular organization. Okay, cellular organization. Now students, I'll ask you one simple question. How many of you watch cricket? How many of you watch cricket? Some of you watch cricket, no? Tell me, how many of you like watching cricket? Okay. Now example. I will take a ball, I'll come running and I'll throw it at you. What will you do? Tell me. In that situation, there are two options given to you. Three options given to you. Okay. First option is you will dodge. Second option, catch. Third option, it'll hit your face. Yes, it'll hit your face and you'll start screaming. There are three things which can happen if I throw a ball at you. Now students, in every single of the options, some response you are giving. Dodging, catching, hitting the face. Late response, you'll scream later on, but that is also a expression. That is called as consciousness. That is, every single organism, it could be plants, microbes, and every single organism will actually respond to a stimuli. Now students, tell me right now, does the plant respond to stimuli? Yes. For example, a light is there. Plant will move towards the light. Phototropism. Plants will go towards the water. Hydrotropism. Gravitropism. Yes. Now students, I'll tell you an interesting scientific fact right now, which I was reading last year. That is, even the microbes are respond to stimuli. For example, depending upon the requirement of food available, a microbes respond to the available food. For example, they know they cannot survive any further. Some of the microbes will start to kill other microbes to make sure the species survive. That is called as quorum sensing. So when the microbes respond to stimuli, okay, so there is no exception to this rule. Okay, so consciousness. Okay, now students, now apart from consciousness, there is something called as self-consciousness. How many of you heard about it? Self-consciousness. For example, I'm going out. Will I wear the same clothes which I'm wearing inside the house, or will I change into something nice and go to the function? Tell me, all of you. All of you tell me. You will also do the same, right? If you're going into some wedding, you will change your clothes. Nice one, suit will come, jacket will come, cap will come, chain will come, and then you go to the wedding. But imagine in the nature, do you think ever a leopard is saying, oh my god, one spot is missing. Oh my god, one spot is missing, I can't go outside now. Will a tiger will ever say, oh my god, my whisker is missing, I can't go outside? No. This self-consciousness, student, this self-consciousness is a very human thing. Very human thing. These animals do not have it. They don't care only if one spot is missing, one teeth is not cleaned, I didn't brush today. They don't care at all. This self-consciousness is a human thing. Okay. So remember, students, while your consciousness is a defining property. Consciousness is a defining property. Self-consciousness fundamental. Okay. So consciousness is a defining property, while self-consciousness is a fundamental property. So with that being said, is it clear to everyone? Ta-da! This entire part is over now. Done? Done, students? Anyone, any doubt till now? Okay. Now, one more question is there given you NCERT also. Now, what about a patient in coma? For example, if you go sit next to a patient in coma, do whatever you want, they will not respond to you. If you're bad at singing like me, you go and sing in front of them. They do not have an option but to listen to us. So the question comes now. I told you consciousness is defining. But what about a patient in coma? Does he have consciousness? The answer is yes. He may not have the consciousness same as you and me, but he or she does have something called as cellular consciousness. The person in the coma is responding to the medicines which we give. Yes or no? So cellular consciousness is there. So it is a defining property. It is a defining property. So with that, the first part of the lecture is over. Now we'll go to something called as binomial nomenclature. So if all of you agree with the leopard right here, who is not self-consciousness, he doesn't care if one spot is missing, all of you fire emoji in the chat if you agree with him. Tell me. Or if you agree with him, fire emoji in the chat if this is clear to all of you till now. Yes or no? All of you. Quickly, fire emoji in the chat. If approval is there, approval is there. Nice. Nice, all of you. Now the next concept is called as binomial nomenclature. Now very small concept, very easy to understand and very cute also. Binomial means two, nomenclature means naming process. So every scientific name has two components which we'll study right now. Two components for every single scientific name. Now you might ask me, sir, why the scientific name? Why can't I call mango as Mavin Kai? Tell me, I can call Mavin Kai or Mavin Hannu in my language. Tell me, what do you call mango in your language? Tell me. In Telugu it might be some, I forgot the name. In Telugu something is there. Telugu and Tamil. I keep forgetting, students. I'll remember next time. Tell me, what do you call mango in your language? So we will fight now. This is mango for me. Imagine I come to Tamil Nadu tomorrow. I'm coming to Chennai and I'm asking him, give me 1 kg Mavankai. He will look at my face and he'll start doing his work because he doesn't understand. My language, your language is different. It is different. So scientists, to address this issue, they got something called as binomial nomenclature, which is a universal method to address the issue of your naming. Okay, so this is called as binomial nomenclature, proposed by Carolus Linnaeus, very important to understand. Okay, in his book Systema Naturae and Species Plantarum, 2 books written by him. There are 2 terms, students. Every single scientific name has 2 different terms. One is called as generic name, other one is called as specific name or species epithet. Understand? I'll give you a simple example. Let's take mango only. Okay, the mango scientific name is Mangifera indica. It is called as Mangifera indica. Not indica car. Indica means Indian thing. Indica. Okay, Mangifera indica is the scientific name here. Mangifera indica. Here, the Mangifera becomes the generic name or the genus name. Genus. The indica becomes the specific name or the species. It becomes the species. Okay, so binomial nomenclature has two categories. One is called as generic name, one is called as species name. Now in examination, there is a very high chance that you might forget this. So which is generic, which is species epithet? Confusion will happen. Yes. Now to clear that confusion, can everyone where you're sitting right now start saying ABCD? Start. Alphabets. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. G comes first. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. G comes first in the alphabetic order. So genus has to be first. Genus. G for genus. Then S comes species. So with that simple trick, you will never forget genus is first, species is second. Unless you forget ABCD also. Unless you forget ABCD, then I can't help. Okay. Now students, there is something called as rules of nomenclature now. There are some rules, very important rules. Many questions have come from right here. So understand these rules, follow these rules to score marks. What are the rules? Biological names are generally, students, generally in Latin. Okay, they are in Latin. They became too big. In Latin and written in italics. See students, it is always written in italics. For example, Mangifera indica italics. But did you see here? When I was writing it, I underlined separately. Underlined it because I'm writing it. Okay. Now, they are Latinicized or derived from Latin irrespective of their origin. The first word in biological name represents the genus. First one is genus, while the second component denotes the specific epithet. Okay. Both words are biological names. When handwritten are separately underlined. See, separately underlined. This is very important line because sometimes what happens is you underline it completely. Do not do that. It's separate underlining. Okay. Or printed in italics. The first word denotes the genus starting with a capital letter. See, Mangifera capital, species small. Okay. While the specific epithet starts with a small letter, it can be illustrated with the example of Mangifera indica. Done. That topic is also over now. Now students, can we come to the last topic right now for today's class? Class is over. Yes. So sometimes there is a lin written, right? Now, lin is not written in italics because it is basically author citation. Students, you might have observed in some of the names next to Mangifera indica, they will write lin. It is never in italics. And sometimes what happens, they do not write lin, they just write yellow also. Both is correct. Okay, lin or yell. This is called as author citation. Now, what is the meaning of author citation? The meaning of author citation is that you are giving the importance to the author who gave the name. For example, Lin means Carolus Linnaeus. Carolus Linnaeus was a scientist who gave the name Mangifera indica. Beautiful. Easy to understand. Biology is easy. Okay. Now students, can we start the last topic today now? Can we start? Can we start the last topic today? Quickly, everyone, show some energy in the chat because I will give you some 20 points today. That's all. At the end of the class, I'll give you 20 points. Follow the 20 points for a quick revision and you will never forget it. Never forget it. Okay? Can we start? Yes or no, students? All of you tell me. Can we start now? Yes. Happy evening, all of you. Yes. Now, next thing is called as taxonomy, my favorite topic. Taxonomy, that is classification involving ordering of organisms into groups. So what exactly is taxonomy? For example, this is one entire wardrobe. You're keeping it here, one thing, or something is kept here. You have in your house also. The clothes which you wear on the outside is kept in one wardrobe. The clothes which you wear in the house is kept somewhere. Shoes are kept somewhere. Towels are kept somewhere. Do you do that classification in your wardrobe? Yes, you do. That is called as taxonomy actually. That is also called as taxonomy. But the difference here is that you are doing it with the clothes. I am doing with the help of animals and plants. That is the main difference. Where you're classifying the animals based on how they look and usage. Okay. Now understand here. Branch of study that deals with the principles and procedures of identification, classification, nomenclature of organisms into taxonomy. Now let me write for you. First one is called as characterization. First one is called as characterization. Okay. Second thing is called as your characterization. Second thing is called as identification. Identification. After identification, you have classification. Classification. After classification, we have nomenclature. We have the nomenclature. We have the nomenclature. Understand? In the case of your characterization, we observe. We observe the animal. We observe the plant. After observing, we find certain. After observing, we find certain morphological, behavioral. Yes, behavioral and everything. So in observation, you do observation and characterization. After observation, characterization, we do something called as identification. That is, here we tell what is this animal, what is this animal, or what is this organism, what is this organism. Okay, what is this organism, we tell here. After that, we do classification. That is kingdom, class, order, family, genus, species, all that. Okay, we do classification here. After that, we give it a name, fancy name. Okay, this is called as your entire process of taxonomy. Entire process of taxonomy: characterization, identification, classification, and nomenclature. Done. Now, students, apart from taxonomy, there is a small term called as systemics. What is the difference? In taxonomy, we generally don't take evolutionary relationship, we don't take. But as soon as we come to systemics, it is nothing but systematic is nothing but taxonomy plus evolutionary relationship. That's all. Systemics. This is taxonomy plus evolutionary relationship is systemics, branch of science dedicated to identify, describe, explain biological diversity in terms of evolutionary relationships among the organisms. That's all. That's all, students. That's all. Very simple. Now, students, I will teach you one simple concept here which will help you to solve many questions. Many questions right here. Are you ready? Because now I'm going to teach you one important point. I want everyone to write this down right now with me on your books. Open your NCERT. Next to your NCERT, write this down next to your NCERT and you will remember it throughout your life. Okay? Ready, all of you? Many questions will come from here. For examples, tell me. All of you tell me in the chat. Everyone in the chat, tell me quickly. Where do you find more number of organisms? At species level or at kingdom level? See, 5 kingdom classification. Kingdom level, technically we find more organisms. Yes or no? We find more organisms at kingdom level. Yes. More organisms here. While at the species level we find less organisms here. Less organisms. Okay. Done. Now, what about something called as your general characteristics? For example, students, I have an organism which is unicellular prokaryote. Monera? Yes or no? What if I have an organism which is unicellular eukaryote? Unicellular eukaryote. Tell me which kingdom? General character. It is a very general character. Protista. What if I have a plant? What if I have an organism which can do photosynthesis? Tell me now which kingdom? Where do I place it? Plantae. What if I have an organism which is saprophotic mode of nutrition? Fungi. So all this mode of nutrition and all of these are called as general characteristics. General characteristics. And they are always more common at the kingdom level. So here we can generally find more general characters. More general characters. Here as we go down, general characters are very less. General characters are little less here. Now, apart from general characteristics, there is something called as similarity. Now, students, tell me, sponges. All of you know sponges. Tell me, does the sponges, which kingdom does the sponges belong to? Sponges, all of you know sponges, animal kingdom. Which kingdom does the sponges belong to? Tell me in the chat, all of you. I'll give you 1 minute to think and remember Gopika ma'am's class and tell me. Sponges belong to which kingdom? Tell me. Sponges. Which kingdom? Think. I'll drink some water by that gap. I'll drink some water in that gap. Which kingdom I'm asking? I'm asking the kingdom. Animalia. Okay. Now, what about kingdom? What about humans? Tell me, humans also belong to which kingdom? Animalia. But do you think we have similarities? That's stupid. Not stupid. That was very, very good. That sponges and us. Do we have similarities? Yes or no? No. We do not have similarities. Very few similarities between your sponges and humans. Even though we are under Animalia, similarities are very less. So at the kingdom level, we have less similarities. Beautiful explanation. Yes or no? Tell me. Similarities. While at the species level, chimpanzee and me, same to same, brother, sister. Okay. So more similarities here. More similarities we find at here. Okay. You can also find similarities as specific character also. You can also call it as specific character. Specific character. Done. So as we go down, as we go from kingdom to species, does the similarity increase or decrease, students? Tell me. As we go down the hierarchy from kingdom to species, similarities will decrease. Similarities will decrease. As we go from kingdom to species, similarities will decrease one by one. Beautiful. Okay. So kingdom to species. See, all good boys are here. Their characters are very common. Similarities are increasing here. But if you look at this one, panda and the lion or tiger, similarities are very less similarities at kingdom level. But species level, similarities are increasing. Okay. Now students, we come to one by one, we'll understand now. One by one, we'll understand something called as your taxonomical categories. Ready, all of you? Ready? See, here we have more similarities. Here we have high similarities. But as we go down and down, similarities will decrease. Oh, one second. It's increase. One second. Here we have more similarities, less similarities here. So something was missing. Less similarities here, and as we go down, similarities are increasing here. Here we have more similarities. Okay. Now what is your species? A group of individuals, organism with fundamental similarity. See, very high similarities. Lowest taxonomical category. It is lowest taxonomical categories. Done. See, species: Panthera tigris, Panthera leo. These are species level. Similarities are very high. Here. High similarities. Okay. Solanum tuberosum, Solanum melongeni. Right? That is your brinjal and potato. Species. Now, what is genus? Genus, understand. Okay. Group of related species having more common characters in comparison to the species of other genus. They have more common similarities compared to family. They have more similarities. Several related genus make up the family. Now, what is family? Group of related genera. Many genera are grouped together here. Are more similar to each other compared to other families. Okay. Now what is order? Assembling of families resembling one another in other characteristics. So basically what is happening here is we are going from down to up now. We are going from species, then we are going into genus, family, order. We are going up the order now. As we go up the order now, from here if you go to here, from here more similarities, less similarities, then it will decrease. From here it will decrease. Okay. Example you see, genus example you see, students. Here we have Panthera tigris, Panthera tigris and Panthera leo. Genus is same, species is different, belong to the same genus. Solanum tuberosum, Solanum melanjoni, Solanum. Genus is same, your species is different. Then that is what is family. For example, Panthera, which is your big cats, and Felis, that is small cats, both belong to the same family, that is your Felidae. Okay, so many genus grouped together, one family. One more example is here, see. Solanum, that is genus, three different genus, Solanum tuberosum, Datura, and your Petunia. Both of them belong to a same family. Many genus grouped together, one family. Yes or no? Many genus grouped together, we get one family. We get one family, students. Okay, we get one family. Now, what is order? Many families grouped together, we get an order. For example, Felidae, which is your cat family, Canidae, which is your dog family, both the families belong to order Carnivora. So many families grouped together, one order. For example, one more, family Solanaceae, family Convolvaceae, both of them belong to the order Polymonials. Yes. Then similarly we have class, taxonomic category of related orders. Many related orders are joined together to make a class. Okay. Several classes together make up the phylum. Phylum in the case of animals, division in the case of plants. Okay. And finally we have the kingdom. Students, kingdom. And we have the 5 kingdom classification. That is your Monera, Protista, your fungi, Plantae, and Animalia. These are the 5 different types of your kingdoms. Okay. One example of your class is given here, Mammalia, that is order Primata and order Carnivora. We learned now right now Carnivora, right? We learned order Carnivora is made up of many families, and that Carnivora and Primata, which we belong to, our ancestors, our non-veg cousins, both of them belong to class mammals. So many different orders combined together to give us a class. This is your complete hierarchy. Species, genus, family, order, class, phylum, division, or kingdom. We can read ulta also, makes sense. Okay. One example is given here, students. Kingdom, Animalia, phylum, Chordata, subphylum, Vertebrata, class, Mammalia, order, Primata, that is Hominidae family, genus, Homo, species, Sapiens. And who is this? Us. Us right here. Okay. Us right here. This one. This is an example which is given here. Now, students, I will give you exactly 30 seconds. Exactly 30 seconds. I want you to remember this table right now, and I'll ask you a question. Ready? All of you ready? Your time starts now. Read the table, understand the table. I'll give you 30 seconds, then I'll ask you a question. Time starts now. Go. Time starts now. Go, students, quickly. Super class is a class. See, there is something called a super, means above the class. Your time is running, students. Your time is running. Done? Done, students? Can I ask now? I will ask any one of the following. You should tell me. If I ask you what is the family of housefly, you should tell me Muscidae. Family of mango, Anacardiaceae. Family of wheat, Poaceae. Okay. Can I start? I'll give you, take 20 more seconds, 30 more seconds you take. Okay. Take 30 more seconds. If I ask you what is the division of your mango, you're supposed to say Angiospermae. Class Dicotyledonnae. Wheat Monocotyledonnae. Scientific name of wheat Triticum aestivum. Done? All of you, everyone in the chat, tell me. Quickly, everyone in the chat, tell me. Done? Okay. Now I'll ask you a simple question. Okay. Tell me the family of housefly. Tell me the family of housefly. Go. Quickly, everyone in the chat. Tell me the family of housefly. Musk. Tell me, family of housefly. That is your Muscidae. Very good, all of you. Crazy. Students, I'll tell you a small trick to remember this. See, all of you know Homo sapiens. Homo is always the genus, species. Genus is written here. Musca, genus. Mangifera, genus. Triticum aestivum, genus. If you learn the scientific name or biological name of the organisms, genus is very easy to understand. Here, Homo, Homidae. All of you know Primata, Mammalia, Chordata. All of you know this. Musca, Muscidae. This one you should remember. This one you have to remember, that is Diptera. Insecta. All of you know it is an insect. Arthropoda, joint legs. Okay, all of you know housefly. Mango, Mangifera. This one you have to remember, students. Anacardiaceae. Anacardiaceae. That is your family. Sapindales, order of your mango. Class Dicotyledonnae, Angiosperm. Wheat, Triticum aestivum. Triticum, same thing. Poaceae, Poales. See, same to same. Same to same. Don't have to remember this. Monocot, Dicot, Angiosperms. So, you have to remember this entire chart. There is no other option. You have to remember. And with that, the chapter is over, students. Chapter is over. Now. Can we start the Super Express revision where I teach you the entire chapter in 20 minutes? Can we start right now with all of you? Fire emoji in the chat will give me a signal to go. Can we start the engine now? Tell me, can we start the Super Express engine now? Can we start Super Express engine right now? Everyone in the chat, fire emoji for the Super Express engine entire chapter in 20 points. Let's go. Engine. The entire chapter in 20 minutes. Can we start the Super Express engine? And all of you are wondering where can you get the notes? Notes will be available in the treasure box. If you go to the description right now, students, description right now, there is a link called as treasure box. Click on the treasure box. Every single chapter link is available. That is notes and also PYQs. Engine start. Engine. Yes, sir. We can start the engine now. All of you start. I am reading the lines. All of you read with me. I know Gopika ma'am is also here. Ma'am is very excited. Okay. So I will read the lines of NCERT. You should also read with me on the go. And that's how we complete the chapter now. Okay. Let's read, students. Let's read. Okay. Cellular organization, metabolism, and consciousness are defining features of living beings. Why? Because there is no exception here. Whereas growth and reproduction are characters, also called as your fundamental. They're also called as your fundamental. Also called as fundamental. The number and types of organisms present on Earth represents biodiversity. That is, variety of organisms on Earth is called as biodiversity. The process of naming of living organisms is called as nomenclature. And nomenclature has basically what, students? It has something called as your nomenclature is a part of taxonomy. Taxonomy has something called as what? Characterization, identification. Then we have your classification and nomenclature. So, characterization, identification, classification, nomenclature. CICN. CN students, CICN. Okay. ICBN stands for International Code for Botanical Nomenclature, which provides botanical names, plant names. ICZN stands for International Code for Zoological Nomenclature. The system of providing a scientific name to the organisms in two components is called as what? Binomial nomenclature. Binomial nomenclature given by Carl Linnaeus. Okay. The two components of binomial nomenclature are generic name, that is the first component. Second component is called as species epithet. Mangifera indica. Both the words in biological name, when written, are separately underlined or printed in italics to indicate their Latin origin. There are many categories, ranks in classification, and are generally referred to as taxonomic category or taxa. So what is a taxa, students? We learned, right? Your kingdom, class, order, family, genus, species, each and every thing is called as a category or taxa. So what is the meaning of taxa? The meaning of taxa is category. It means category. The title of Carl Linnaeus publication is called as Systema Naturae. Okay. Now, in classification, all categories together constitute a taxonomical hierarchy. Okay. Now, students. Next thing. In classification of all the scientific name of housefly and wheat and lion are Musa domestica, Triticum aestivum, and Pantheria leo. Tiger, leopard, and tiger belong to the same genus, that is your Panthera. Genus Panthera. Cats and dogs belong to family Felidae, that is your cat family. Candidae, that is your dog family. Solanum, Petuna, Datura are placed in the same family, that is Solanaceae. We will discuss this. Plant families like Convolvulaceae, Solanaceae are included in the same order, that is polynomials, and mainly based on similarities in their floral characteristics. Okay. Order Primata and Carnivora included in the same class, that is Mammaliae. In family, order, class, Homo sapiens is Homidae. Primata, that is your order, class is Mammalia. Right? So family is Mammalia. Okay. Now, the family, order, class, that is basically for your wheat, Mangifera indica is given right here. The table we learned, right? The table, big table we learned, right? Same thing is given here. Taxonomic hierarchy is species, genus, family, order, class, phylum, division, or kingdom, class, order, family, genus, species. Keep pots clean or family gets sick. Small mnemonic. Specificity decreases, similarity increases. As we go from here to here, the similarity is decreasing. Here in the species we have more similarities. More similarities are here. As we go from here to here, similarity is decreasing. Okay. Species serve as the basic unit or lowest category. That is, species is the basic unit, also called as the lowest category. And with that, your express train has taken off. With that, your complete express train has started. All of you are on board, I believe. And this is called as express. And I believe all of you understood the concepts. All of you did a quick revision with me. Every single point is clear. And that is how we do it on NEET English channel, students. That is how we give a quick revision. That is how we do something called as your express. How was it, students? And that is the end of today's class. Okay. Now, I believe in a very short duration of time, you were able to understand the chapter and also revise. The only thing which is missing right now is solving questions. All of you agree with me? All of you agree with me? The only thing is missing is solving questions. And for that, what do you do? If you go to the description right now, there is a treasure box link. I'll show it to you also. There is something called as treasure box. All of you can see the treasure box here. I believe. Oops. All of you can see the treasure box right here, students. If you go here, quickly smash that like button and also let me know in the comment section how was today's class. If you go here, we'll find something called as treasure box, students. Treasure box. Okay. Here. Click on this. You got treasure box, right? Can you see? If you see here, you have a treasure box where you get the notes, YT link, notes, PYQ test. For example, let's say Living World. All of you did this chapter Living World right now. Click on Living World. Go here, go to PYQ test. Click on this link. A page will open. Enter your email ID and start taking this lecture. Start taking the quiz. Done. That is your NEET PYQ. Chapter wise PYQ is given here. NCERT solution is also given here for living world. And that's how we do it, students. That's how we do it in the channel. That's how we do it on our channel right here. Okay. So I will see you in the next lecture for Plant Kingdom. Until then, keep studying, keep liking the session, keep commenting, and we will see you in the next lecture. Students, all of you know, if you go to lecture right here, channel, if you go here live, you will find other lectures. Can you see? Physics. Oops, what happened? Live one second, students, I'll show you. If you go to the live section, you will find something called as Basis of Mathematics. Your chemistry lecture is here. Tomorrow class we have biological classification. So quickly go here and smash the like button, students. Smash the like button here. I want to see 50-60 likes here by today's video only. Okay. So with that, today's class is over. Thank you so much, students, and take care. Bye-bye.